So today, folks, we're looking at how to paint dwarves from Warhammer Skullpass. If you remember, guys, this was from a 7th edition set that you could get. You got those guys alongside Night Goblins, and this was a really good value starter set where you've got a lot of models. And even by today's standards, you're basically ended up getting 1,000 points roughly of each faction. So you got about 1,000 points of Night Goblins and 1,000 points of Dwarfs, which I thought was really good. So if you ended up buying 2 boxes of those, you would basically have a full 2,000 point army. So you just swapped. You got to keep 2 halves of Dwarves, and your friend got to keep 2 halves of Night Goblins. Hello, folks, and today we're looking at how to paint Skullpass Dwarfs. So first of all, you want to prime your models black like we usually do, and then we're moving on to a blue color, and this is from Vallejo, and the color is ultramarine blue. So just working through all the models, and what you want to do is you want to put the color on any of the cloth parts that we have on our dwarves, so any of the clothing that they're wearing. I'm sort of going for the look that it is on the artwork, or at least as close as I can get it to it. I mean, I'm not claiming to be great at color matching any of the works done by JW, but I try and get it as close as possible as I can. I guess it's a bit of my own interpretation on the case. So now we're moving on to doing silver, and a good color to go to is lead belcher. After we've done that, we're moving on to doing the beards on our little dwarves, and you're using literally any mix of colors, so ginger, blonde, brown, black, and there isn't a right or wrong color for this, so literally just use a mixture of colors and you'll be good to go. For the first layer of the skin, we're doing Bugman's Glow, and initially I thought that it might be a little bit too dark, especially once I put the shade on it, but actually it was alright. Once we've done the highlight, it looked quite good. I really do love these dwarves. I mean, these are a nostalgia army, aren't they, really, from Battle for Skullpass. I mean, it's just, yeah, they're just really good. Really enjoy it. So gold. My go-to color for the gold will be Retributor Armor from GW, and I think it's got really good coverage, really good color, and it's also easily accessible. Whether you have a GW store near you, or if you have an independent store that sells them for a bit of a discount, I think it's generally a good color to use. So for any of the leather parts, we're going to be moving on to Doomball Brown, and so we're literally painting this color on any of the pouches and the gloves that some of the miners have. So yeah, this is what the arm is looking like so far. I'm quite pleased at the progress of it at this stage. So yeah, moving on to shades now. The first shade that we'll be using will be Nuln Oil, and we're using that for any of the grey beards, any of the silver parts, so that we've done lead belcher on, and that's just to create a bit of depth to our model, make it look really good. Yeah, so it's mainly for things like helmets, the handgun, the picks, axes, anything like that. Man, these models, I thought they aged quite well, to be honest with you. I am a big fan of these. It certainly, brought back really positive memories. So, for the brown parts, we're going to be using Agrax Earthshade, and we're literally putting that on Doomball Brown and any of the brown beards, or anything like that, really. So, the base, that we're moving on to, I have used camouflage brown from Vallejo, and it is an air paint that I've done for an airbrush just to speed up the process. You can obviously do this by hand, but it will take a little bit longer to do that way. So for the highlight of the skin, we're using another GW colour, and that is Kislev Flesh. So we're literally just highlighting any of the skin that we have for our dwarfs. Moving back to shades again, we're using thin down Agrax Earthshade, so about 60 to 40 ratio, so 40% of it being thinner. Followed by a Tyrant Skull dry brush. The rims of the bases we're using black, and here we're using specifically Abaddon black. You can use any black that you have to hand. I actually think the Vallejo black primer is a lot better than the Abaddon black. For the flames on our little miners, we're using Mephiston red as the first colour. We are then moving on to the orange, which is going to be Jacaro orange, and followed by Avalon sunset. So the dry brush on the ice picks, we're using Necron compound, and then any of the sort of horns or candles that the dwarves have, we are now highlighting with oh bloody hell, what's the colour? Ushapti bone. There we go. Whilst we're at it, we're also highlighting the cloak of our king with vermilion. The base colour was, I believe, Mephiston red as well, and then we shaded it with Agrax, and now we're obviously moving on to vermilion. So dry brush for any of our pouches, I have decided to use Gore4 brown. So yeah, this is the stage that we're at the moment. Quite pleased with it. I think it turned out really well. I added some tufts in the end, and those can be any colour that you like, whatever you think is suitable for your army. I think my specific ones are from Army Painter, so that's what I had to hand, or I believe I just picked them up in the shop just to sort of so I'm not ordering them and not waiting for the tufts. Yeah, just sort of picked up what was available rather than perfectly matching them to the bases, but I think it turned out quite well all in all. So yeah, thanks very much for watching the video. I'd really appreciate a thumbs up from you if possible, and a subscribe would be great as well, as it really helps the channel grow, and it means that you guys are actually watching these videos and you can appreciate them as much as I can. Thank you.